In this video, we are going to see a property of the synapse. In previous video, we already discussed the introduction and neurotransmitters and its releasing and functions of synapse. We all seen in the previous video. Here only the small part, that is properties of synapse, going to see. There are 8 properties in these. First one is one-way conduction. One-way conduction is otherwise called as Bell-Magnetin law. According to the Bell-Magnetin law, the impulses are transmitted only in one direction in the synapse. That is from presynaptic neuron to postsynaptic neuron. Next one is synaptic decay. During the transmission of impulses via the synapse, there is a short delay in the transmission. It is due to the time taken for the release of transmission and movement of neurotransmitter from axonal terminals to the postsynaptic membrane. Again, action of the neurotransmitter to open the ionic channel, then only it goes to the postsynaptic membrane. So there are many processes in the opening and releasing of the neurotransmitters, the impulse transmission. So the synaptic decay occurs. Third property is fatigue. Due to the continuous muscular activity of the synapse forms a seeds of fatigue along with the bed cells. The fatigue at the synapse is due to the depletion of neurotransmitter substances like acetylcholine. Depletion of acetylcholine occurs by two factors. First one is soon after the action, acetylcholine is destroyed by the acetylcholinesterase. Second one is due to the continuous action, new acetylcholine is not synthesized. Second one is new acetylcholine is not synthesized because of the release of continuous acetylcholine. In first one is soon after the action. The action is simultaneously happened, so acetylcholine was destroyed frequently. Fourth one is summation. Summation in the sense synapses requires the release of sufficient neurotransmitter into the cleft in order for enough of the transmitter to bind to the postsynaptic receptors and the impulse to be generated in the postsynaptic neurons. The summation was again in two types. One is spatial summation, another one is temporal summation. In spatial occurs when the excitatory potential from many different presynaptic neurons causes the postsynaptic neuron to reaches its threshold and fire. In temporal summation occurs when the single presynaptic neuron fires many times in succession, causing the postsynaptic neuron to reach its threshold and fire. The main function of the summation is to increases the postsynaptic threshold and firing. For this, in spatial, it creates the many presynaptic neurons. In temporal condition, only single presynaptic neuron, it vibrates or fires many times. Fifth one of the property is facilitation. When a presynaptic action is stimulated with several consecutive individual stimuli, each stimulus may evoke a large postsynaptic potential than that evoked by the previous stimulus. Consequently, another excitatory signal entering in the neuron from some other sources can excite the neuron very easily. Sixth property is excitatory and inhibitory. At an excitatory synapses, ionic currents flowing through the ion channels cause a net depolarization of the postsynaptic cells. At an inhibitory synapses, ionic currents flowing through the ion channels causes a net hyperpolarization of the postsynaptic cells. Excitatory causes the depolarization of the postsynaptic cells and inhibitory synapse causes the hyperpolarization of the postsynaptic cells. In seventh is convergence and divergence. Convergence refers to the phenomenon of termination of the signals from many sources. In divergence refers to one presynaptic neuron terminating on many postsynaptic neurons. The difference between convergence and divergence is convergence receives from many sources of the presynaptic signals, and divergence it divert the postsynaptic terminals for the many postsynaptic neurons. Example for convergence is many presynaptic neurons on the single postsynaptic neurons. Examples for divergence is a single impulse is converted into a number of impulses going to the number of postsynaptic neurons. The last and final property is occlusion phenomenon. The response to the stimulation of two presynaptic neurons is more than the sum of total of the response obtained when they are stimulated separately. This happened because some postsynaptic neurons are common to both the presynaptic neurons. Thus, occlusion is due to the overlapping of the afferent fibers, their central distribution. Finally, what happened? The synapse do not function properly. For example, it do not produces the enough receptors or enough neurotransmitters, and while it releasing the synaptic cleft, the neurotransmitters degraded by enzymes fastly. So for many reasons the synapse cannot function properly sometimes. That clinical condition is called Parkinsonism, Alzheimer's disease, depression, anxiety and schizophrenia. These clinical manifestations are occurred due to the lacking of neurotransmitters or excess of the neurotransmitters, or do not bind the receptor properly. Of all these conditions it produces many clinical problems.